Free at last, free at last, thank God Almighty I'm free at last. Free at last, free at last, thank God Almighty I'm free at last.
Surely been puked and surely been scorned,
thank God Almighty I'm free at last.
but still my soul is freedom born.
Thank God Almighty I'm free at last. Free at last, free at last, thank God Almighty I'm free at last.
Free at last, free at last,
thank God Almighty I'm free at last.
If you don't know I've been redeemed,
thank God Almighty I'm free at last.
Thank God Almighty I'm free at last.
Thank God Almighty I'm free at last. Free at last, free at last, thank God Almighty I'm free at last.
Free at last, free at last,
thank God Almighty I'm free at last.
And before I'd be a slave, I'd be buried in that grave. In most of these songs, you'll hear freedom. As I said, that was a theme, and it took a variety of contexts and a variety of roots. Some of you know the stories of the slaves singing in these various places in the what they call the underground church. They had to use words that would not cause the slave master to become suspicious of what they were doing, otherwise they'd be in real trouble. So they were very, very inventive in terms of using words that sounded acceptable in terms of some other context, but they were often singing about where they actually were at that time.
And